December 1st, 1955, a cold evening in Montgomery, Alabama. A woman sits quietly on a city bus, exhausted not just from a long day's work, but from years of injustice. The driver demands she move. She refuses. That one act of defiance changed history forever. But who was Rosa Parks beyond this moment? And how did her courage spark a revolution that would shake the foundations of America? First off, let's set the stage. It's 1955. Segregation was the law of the land in most places, especially in the South. But this wasn't just about the occasional whites-only drinking fountain or restaurant. No, no, no. This was a full-on, systemized day-to-day oppression. Think about it like this. Imagine you're playing a game, and someone decides that you're only allowed to follow half the rules, based on something you have zero control over. Like the fact that you're, let's say, wearing blue socks. Segregation was that game. And every single part of your life, from where you could sit on the bus to where you could eat, was governed by this rule book of inequality. So, when you hear about these separate but equal laws, know that equal was just a word that sounded good, but didn't mean a damn thing. And this brings us to Rosa. Let me tell you, this wasn't some random person who just happened to stumble upon a seat in the front. No, no. Rosa Parks wasn't an accidental rebel. She had been working for civil rights for years. She wasn't new to the game. She was a secretary for the NAACP, National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. And she had seen firsthand how entrenched racism was in every part of society. Her refusal wasn't a spur-of-the-moment decision. This wasn't a, "oh, I'm just so tired" kind of move. Oh no, this was a strategic decision thought through and perfectly executed. It wasn't just a no to that bus driver, it was a powerful statement to a whole society. So, let's get real. When Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat, it wasn't just a random act of defiance. It was a move that had been carefully calculated to ignite change. Think of it like playing chess. You don't just make moves randomly, you plan your moves in advance, thinking 2, 3, 4 steps ahead. Rosa wasn't some lady just sitting there. Oh no. She was planting the seeds for a much bigger revolution. It's like a chess master saying, "I'm not just going to make a good move now, I'm setting up for checkmate." And that revolution didn't just stay in Montgomery. Oh no, it spread like wildfire. Rosa's defiance sparked the Montgomery bus boycott, a movement that saw thousands of black citizens refuse to ride the buses for over a year. That's right. Imagine an entire city, Montgomery, Alabama, basically grinding to a halt because black people collectively decided, you know what? We don't need these buses. We can walk, carpool, and fight back in a way that hits them where it hurts. Financially, the boycott wasn't just about refusing to sit in a seat. It was about refusing to sit back and take any of the injustices that were being shoved in their faces daily. And guess what happened? The bus company? They started losing money. And all of a sudden, the people who thought they could maintain control by holding people of color in their place started to feel the heat. It's like a company that's selling a bad product, and suddenly everyone refuses to buy it. They're like, wait a minute, what just happened? That's what happened to the system of segregation when Rosa Parks took a stand. People started saying, enough is enough. Now, before we go on, let me clarify something for you. Rosa Parks wasn't some random good person who just wanted to sit in the front for the fun of it. She had been actively fighting for civil rights on the ground for years. In fact, she had already been involved in campaigns to challenge segregation laws. She wasn't just some tired lady getting on the wrong bus. She was a strategic, passionate, and sharp-witted woman who knew exactly what her refusal could spark. This wasn't her first rodeo, folks. She wasn't trying to make a statement for herself. She was trying to make a statement for a movement. She was already one of the many people, often working behind the scenes, who had been chipping away at the system. So when she refused to give up her seat, that wasn't just some spontaneous act of rebellion. It was a calculated move designed to ignite a larger conversation. And it worked. After Rosa Parks' arrest, the Montgomery bus boycott got rolling. But more importantly, it caught the attention of the entire nation. This wasn't just a local protest. It became a symbol of the fight for civil rights. That's when we saw the rise of leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. and organizations like the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, SCLC, that used the momentum to push forward. And let's take a moment here. People often say Rosa Parks was just a quiet, simple woman. But she wasn't quiet. She wasn't meek. She was a strategist, a tactician, and most importantly, she was a revolutionary. Her courage didn't just show up in a single act. It showed up in every action she took before and after that moment. Rosa Parks didn't just sit down and refuse to stand up. She stood up for every person who couldn't. She stood up for every child who would be born into a world where they could finally say, "I'm free." And let's be clear, she wasn't just one person with a seat. She was one woman leading an entire movement of people with power, voice, and strength. So let's wrap it up. Rosa Parks didn't change history just because she refused to move. No. She changed history because her refusal became a moment, a turning point. She sat down, stood up, and sparked a revolution. She didn't need to march. She didn't need to shout. She knew that one act of defiance was enough to create a ripple that would last for generations. So, if you've learned anything today, let it be this. Your refusal to back down can ignite the change the world needs. If you believe in something, stand firm. Be bold. Be like Rosa. And hey, if you want more stories of legends like Rosa Parks, hit that like button and subscribe. Don't forget to share this video and leave a comment. What would you have done on that bus? I want to hear your thoughts. Until next time, history makers, don't just sit there, stand up, fight back, and let your voice be heard. Peace.